the SDGs. B, the training of trainers for a self-sustaining and ripple effect for professional development for the lives of these women throughout their careers. And C, the actual course on gender equality to key stakeholders for industry-wide awareness. Number 3, the who, selecting the right local implementing partner, in this case, Moldova State University, for development and delivery of the in-country capacity building activities, not only ensures success for the implementation of activities on the ground, but cultivates the self-sustaining cycle of mentorship in the country, paving the way for growth. Thank you very much for your attention. I think everybody has seen this little booklet. It's outside for you to take.
Thank you very much, Olivia, sharing with us the results and the impact that had the project in Moldova, and I think the impact will be on long term. Now I'm inviting Pauline Dunoyer de Segonzac with the topic enhancing safety and risk management in tourism.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Bonjour, buenas tardes. So today, as you can see here, I am going to speak about safety and security in the tourism sector. I would like to thank again the organizers for inviting UN Tourism to this very important conference. And I would like to thank, of course, all the participants and the guests for being here today, and also for sharing their interesting views during this conference. And hopefully, after this presentation, we can have a series of questions and answers to discuss those important topics. So as you can see here on the slide, so we will focus on tourism in a challenging world, safeguarding destination and fostering global peace as I said, on a global basis, so not necessarily focusing on Moldova. And so we will explore how tourism and security are interlinked, and of course, what are the key elements in this area. So on this slide, you can see the last World Tourism Day that took place on 27th of September. As you know, World Tourism Day happens, of course, every year, and we always have a different topic. So just to set the stage here for this presentation, I have highlighted here specific quotes from the UN Secretary General that you can see here, so Mr. Guterres, which has said tourism brings people together to create a job, foster inclusion, and of course strengthen economic and promote peace. So this is just to set the stage and also highlight the importance of this specific topic nowadays. So here are the new areas of technical cooperation, technical assistance that we are providing. I will provide a bit more details on how we came up with those different new thematic areas, but so you can see here just a recap of what those areas are. So for instance, if we take the first one, we have the tourism police, then crisis management and contingency planning. Then we have the International Code for the Protection of Tourists. I will get back to this a bit later with a specific slide on this one. And then disaster risk reduction and heat resilience. So those are 4 key examples. Of course, this is not exhaustive, so we're also providing assistance in other areas related to security and safety in the tourism sector, but those are the key ones. I would like to highlight here that we've heard, for instance, earlier today the importance of ecotourism, but we can also talk about all kinds of tourism, be it from a cultural perspective, be it adventure tourism, etc. We cannot have tourism if we don't have safety and security, if the tourists don't feel safe and secure. Therefore, this is kind of a prerequisite to allow all kind of tourism to take place, and therefore it should be taken into account by all kind of stakeholders because it benefits the whole chain, the whole tourism chain. So be it from governments, from national entities, regional entities, but also local entities, municipalities, and of course the private sector. So this topic is really transversal. It's not only it doesn't have to be only dealt at national level by national authorities, but it should be dealt like on a transversal basis and including all actors. As you know, as Olivia mentioned, we also work with a number, as UN Tourism, with a number of affiliate members from the private sector, and this is where we can, of course, bring great added value when it comes to safety and security in the tourism sector by bringing all those people around the table. So this was just a snapshot. Then I will go a bit more into details into the different types of assistance that we can provide. So here I will quickly give you a bit of a background on how we came up with those different topics and how, from which basis, where it came from. The organization UN Tourism has supported the drafting of a white paper on safety and security in the tourism sector. So this white paper was designed initially for our support to Africa. So we are divided into several regional departments, and we got a specific request from Africa to work together with the African Union and also key stakeholders in the region to support them in drafting this important document, which was published in 2021, and now it's available in French and in English on our webpage. I can also, of course, share with you the link. Basically, the document consists of 3 volumes. And it goes from theory, from analysis to possible solutions. And then the last volume focuses on specific case studies. So I will go back to this a bit later. But we really wanted to illustrate the topic through case studies, not only from Africa, but from all over the world. Because the idea with this white paper is to provide a sample of good practices to serve as a guide, for instance, of possible technical assistance support that we could provide to our member states or to other requesting stakeholders. So we didn't want to only focus on the context of Africa, but we also have some examples from other parts of the world. So I will get back to this a bit later. So here, yeah, you have the 3 different volumes, as I said, from the white paper. So focusing on those different aspects. And here, this should be a video. So. It's not this. It should be a link to YouTube.
This is a video?
Yeah, it should be a link to YouTube. Yeah.
Just a second. Here, yeah.
If you want, I can continue and we pass the video at the end. It's a YouTube.
He is here.
Okay.
Полностью видео.
It's a YouTube.
А чисто видео, что полностью.
It should be a YouTube video.
Something wrong. Oh, okay. You could continue.
Alright, I'll just continue.
Yeah, okay. Поцелуй начинать.
Okay, sorry for the technical problems. Basically, I will share with you the video. We did this video on the white paper, actually. So it highlights the key component in a, let's say, more fancy manner than the presentation. But I will share it when we share all the presentations, I guess. Then as I mentioned, in the white paper we have some case studies that were highlighted as good practices throughout the world. So for instance here, if we look at Colombia, which is the first case study, tourism has really helped the country in its peace approach. And now, as we can see, Colombia has become, at least in Latin America, one country where it gets like a very high number of tourists, and it helped the peace process, and it is still currently growing. So here we can really see the nexus between peace and security. As I already mentioned, without peace, there is very little chance for tourism, and we can see it as a virtuous circle that peace brings tourism, and tourism brings peace, and it brings people together. So the case study from Colombia is very interesting to read. It has some elements, like historical elements related to the FARC and the guerrilla, and it really shows how through different policies, national policies, but also involving local communities, because this is highly relevant to also involve local communities, and to explain how how tourism can bring economic development to those local communities, and how those local communities can benefit from tourism, and therefore to have them partnering with this. Then we have other case studies, so from Kenya, Mauritius, for instance, Morocco as well, and many others. So for instance, if we take the tourism police, which is also one other key technical assistant aspect that we are currently highlighting. When we look at Morocco, they have a whole, let's say, a whole approach, meaning that they decided to set up a specific, like a dedicated tourism police that has very specific training, like in terms of training, they receive like different types of training. They receive language training, they receive multicultural sensitivity training. They know how to reply like to specific demands from tourists, and so on and so forth. Then it really depends on the country. In some countries, they want to have this tourism police force visible, so that if there is a problem, or if a tourist feels that he needs to address someone, they know whom to address, and also it makes them feel safer. In other countries, they have a dedicated tourism police, but not necessarily visible. However, they are still there in case if there is like any problem. They are still present. So this is something that's also very important in terms of tourism promotion for a country, especially when the tourists go back to their homes, and then they say, oh, I felt very safe in this country. If I had a problem, I knew whom to address. They could speak English, or they could answer in my own language, etc., etc. So that's something that really contributes to the promotion of destinations as safe destination. Okay, so that's for the examples, and I encourage you to really have a look at the white paper and to see those different case studies and what could be applied, what could be replicated, of course, depending on the context. We also had some interesting case studies about post-COVID responses, basically taking into consideration all the challenges caused by COVID, and how the member states, the authorities responded to that. And based on this, then we can actually draw some lessons learned on how to develop effective contingency planning or crisis management tools to reply not only, of course, to sanitary crisis, but now when we look at what's happening in today's world, also with global warming, climate change, and so on and so forth, and we see that there are an increasing number of natural hazards, but it can also be, of course, man-made, and therefore those types of plans are highly important in today's world, and they should not only focus on a general plan, but they should also take into account the specific needs of tourists when they get stranded in those types of situations. Okay, so this leads us to this next slide. Actually, the link is perfect, on the International Code for the Protection of Tourists. So here I would like to highlight that Moldova has adhered to the code, so that's a very good first step. Together with some other countries, we currently have more than 22 countries that have adhered to the code, which is still a new instrument. It was designed during the pandemic to reply especially to the needs of the tourists that were stranded. So it has kind of two components. First component is more related to crisis management, so how to deal with tourists that were stranded in foreign countries or abroad, and how to get them back home. And then the second point is more related to consumers' rights, so more related to insurance, reimbursement, and so on and so forth. Here I'd like to say that I would like to highlight that this is a non-binding instrument that has many tools that can be put in place. States can either fully adhere to the code, or they can partially adhere to some elements pertaining to the code. What we can do from our side as UN Tourism, our technical cooperation department, but also together with our legal department, as this is a legal instrument, we can provide technical assistance in the implementation of the code to member states that have already adhered to the code. So if there is any need from member states, we're there to support them in the implementation of this code. Then this is a more general slide, so this is not necessarily relating to safety of destination or security and safety in the tourism sector, but this is a bit more how we function within UN Tourism, and especially within our Department for Technical Cooperation. This is a bit the process of our technical cooperation projects, as it was highlighted by Olivia, as we did here in Moldova. So basically, we either receive the request, or we, as a member state or an entity, expresses the needs that they have in terms of tourism. So for instance, like if we take the tourism police, we have received some requests, or in terms of crisis management and so on and so forth, but this is not limited to that. So it could be on any topic, and like master plan, a specific policy on sustainable development, exactly. So there could be any item that is deemed relevant. Then, of course, we work together with the requesting authority on assessing the needs, on developing a concept note, and so on and so forth. We secure the funds, we hire the experts, and then, of course, we implement the activities based on what has been agreed with the counterparts. And then the idea, of course, is to ensure sustainability of our actions, so that we don't just, we don't come and implement a project and then we go. The idea is to have ownership from the requesting counterparts, to have them involved throughout the process, and of course then to have sustainability within the action, meaning that we can either have a follow-up project based on the monitoring and evaluation of what we would have done of the current project, or we can say, okay, here there is no need because to have a follow-up project, and the counterpart can just carry out like the activities, continue this way. So this is why we think it's highly important, for instance, to implement activities such as we will have tomorrow, like training of trainers, because this is highly important in terms of sustainability. Then the actual trainers from the requesting country can deliver future training. So that's really one point that is highly important. And so I will stop here. I think you got the point of this presentation. I would like to highlight again that we are very glad that we've been invited to this very important conference, that we remain here at your side to support you, to reply to any question now, but also for future actions, future opportunities, do not hesitate to reach out to my colleague Olivia here or to me, and we'll be very happy to further discuss with you. Thank you.
There is a question. There is a question for you, Pauline.
Okay, thank you very much for your question. This is indeed, it's highly important, not only in the tourism sector, but just in general, all over the world. We see intelligence, artificial growing everywhere, and the idea is to have this balanced approach to see what can be applied through artificial intelligence and to set some limits, but also, most of all, to have policies, to develop policies in this regard. If we look, for instance, at the European Union, they've already started working on policies related to intelligence artificial, how to provide the right legal framework when it comes to the use of intelligence artificial in general, but also, of course, in the tourism sector, we should have targeted initiatives that would really focus on this point. So I think intelligence artificial is it's the topic. It's like as we say, like hot topic that is getting importance. But as even the creator of those tools are saying, we really need to be cautious and to have the right policies at the right pace in order to avoid, for instance, security breaches, privacy breaches, those kind of elements. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Now we invite Svetlana Genova Petrova with the Interdisciplinary Solutions for Smart Sustainable Tourism and Services for Blue Growth in the Black Sea Basin. The presentation will be online. And the question for that will be answered in this presentation will be what specific interdisciplinary approaches have shown the most promise in promoting smart, sustainable tourism in the Black Sea region, and how can these be scaled or adapted to benefit both local communities and the broader blue growth objectives?
Dear colleagues, dear researchers, dear students, hello from Varna and from Bulgaria, Bună ziua. It's a pleasure for me to be with you today at this conference. And even from a distance, I'm really happy to see familiar faces and to have the chance to present the results of our work and to present the work which we are commencing to do. It is a good chance that my topic actually takes over different aspects from what the previous speakers already talked about. However, we shall twist the perspective a little bit and talk more about the blue economy, blue growth, and its perspectives for the tourism sector, and what is the role also of the general policy making in this regard about our work as researchers and practitioners, particularly in the areas where we live in. I'm As my colleagues mentioned, my name is Tsvetalina Genova, and I'm managing the Projects and Applied Research Department at the Varna University of Management in Bulgaria. We have a very long tradition of cooperation with the team of the Moldova State University, and we have worked together on many different successful initiatives. So we have this good established pathway of partnership, of exchanging ideas, of sharing knowledge, for which we are really, really grateful. I will allow now myself to share my screen and my presentation. I hope the technical issues will run smoothly for us. And also after the presentation, because we are not in such an interactive mode as it goes with the other lecturers, I will stay here online for questions, for ideas, for suggestions, and so on. So now I'm going to share my screen with the presentation of our initiative. I hope it is visible. Okay, and I will start talking about the InterSmarts project, about our results. Unlike the other projects and ideas and research results which were presented so far, the InterSmarts initiative is still in process. So we shall talk more about our feasibility study, more about our preliminary results and background, and then shall invite you to follow us in the course of action of our work. The InterSmarts project is a project which is supported under the Interreg Next Black Sea Basin program, and its full title is Interdisciplinary Solutions for Smart Sustainable Tourism and Services for Blue Growth in the Black Sea Basin. Our focus is on tourism and the blue economy, and the prospects for innovation in this regard. Maybe you would consider why we are referring to the blue economy in general, and about the different aspects associated with this, especially when the conference is managed by the Moldova State University, and particularly regarding the fact that Moldova doesn't have a direct access to the sea line. But the thing is that the blue economy concept is actually quite wide and goes beyond the sea basins in the narrow aspect. And the place of tourism against this background is really, really important. Here, we need to consider more the environmental perspectives and the environmental performance of the tourism sector and businesses, which goes a little bit beyond the considerations only of the ecotourism, and focusing more on the different sustainability aspects of the sector and of the businesses. So here, not only the tourists are important with their behavior, needs, perceptions, but also the overall performance of the businesses and of the facilities, infrastructure, which refer to the sustainable development of our areas. So the blue economy is actually considerably a new theme. Even though it first emerged in the 1990s, it was formally conceptualized, if I may say so, in the around 2010. And first in 2012, there was a United Nations conference which referred specifically to the blue economy in the sense that it encompasses all the economic activities related to our water basins. The European Commission around this time conceptualized the blue economy as referring to all the economic activities related to the oceans, seas, and coasts. And here it covers a wide range of established and emerging sectors, and also a wide range of economic activities referred to the blue economy. The main, of course, are the fisheries, aquaculture, coastal tourism, shipping, ports, but also the biotechnologies and have their places here. And also other new sectors which are in process of development. This concept as a blue economy development is also very relevant to the area of the Black Sea Basin, which includes not only the countries which have direct access to the Black Sea coast, but also countries whose economic activities are affecting uh, the the Black Sea in different ways. And that's why the Black Sea Basin includes uh, also countries like Moldova, like Armenia, or even Greece, whose sectors are actually very much related with that of the countries who have direct borders with the Black Sea Basin. And also, these are countries whose actually water resources are connected to the Black Sea in some way or another. So the activities of these countries are considered as part of the blue economy of the Black Sea Basin. The next aspect of our environment and of our project refers to the blue growth. And this is a concept which refers to unlocking the potential of the blue economy in supporting the sustainable development of the marine and maritime economic activities. And a main sector in the maritime economic activities is actually tourism. Here I will present a very short picture of how this all looks like. And this actually justifies the fact that we are focusing our research interest and our common research activities on the tourism. You can see here that in terms of employment, coastal tourism is by far the largest blue economy sector among the main ones. And also, it provides by far the largest gross added value. Here, the other sectors which we compare tourism with are the so-called living resources, or the resources which we extract from the sea, the maritime transport, the non-living resources which are in decline, because here we are talking about the different mineral-based economic activities which are developed along the seashores, the offshore winds, the port activities, the shipbuilding and repair. So the sector which in fact affects the marine and maritime system in terms of human capital development and in terms of economic and social value is by far tourism. And that's why we focused our project especially on this sector, but from the perspective of blue growth. The Black Sea Basin actually has prioritized blue growth and blue economy for the last 5 years. So our policy prioritizing in this field is comparatively new. The document which streamlines our efforts in this regard is the Common Maritime Agenda from the Black Sea, which was created or adopted in 2019. And it has two pillars: healthy marine and coastal ecosystems, a competitive, innovative, and sustainable blue economy for the Black Sea, and fostering investment in the Black Sea blue economy. All these areas refer to the cooperation of the different actors across the different sectors and across the different areas of knowledge. Because in the end, everything goes down to improving the resource efficiency and the environmental performance of the different entities whose economic activities affect the Black Sea. And here we need really a very good combination and coordination among the managerial and organizational activities and innovation with the different technological advancements which actually can help us to improve the environmental performance of our entities. And this task is actually quite complex because it requires the adoption also of innovative solutions, but also of raising the skills of the different actors which are engaged in the process so that they're able to identify and to adopt these innovations in their businesses. That is why the Common Maritime Agenda for the Black Sea is complemented by a scientific pillar called the Strategic Research and Innovation Agenda for the Black Sea, SRIA. And this scientific pillar is about to bring science-based decision making about blue economy in the Black Sea Basin. So here we, as research entities, as universities, have a very strong task and very strong challenge which we need to work on in order to be able to provide the other stakeholders and agents in the blue economy process with concrete results and achievements from our work so that we in generally implement all these growth targets that are set for our region. And at both at the policy making level, but also at the implementation level, we are in the beginning, so there is a wide area for us to research and to work on. The InterSmarts project is designed to improve the sustainability performance and innovation absorption in tourism and services in the Black Sea Basin via interdisciplinary research, networking, co-creation, and holistic knowledge generation. The main problem which we are targeting is the general perception that tourism is not so knowledge and innovation intensive as the other sector of the economy. This is a perspective which is in the process of change because the modernization of the performance of the tourism enterprises and also the modernization of the tourism infrastructure towards sustainability actually should and shall go through the technological advancements. And sometimes we don't talk to something very radical. Very often the idea is to use the solutions that we have on the market to optimize the resource efficiency and the sustainability performance of the enterprises. There are many hotels and restaurants who already use cogeneration, for example, for the production of their own energies, who are using different renewable energy sources on a micro business level. We have also a lot of IT applications who that improve the distribution of the resources within an entity. There are also different organizational innovations thanks to which we have tourism enterprises that actually produce and serve their own food and who afterwards process the biological waste again into again through cogeneration facilities and produce energy for their own use. So we have these examples in the Black Sea Basin. Our task will be to identify, research them, and promote what they do, and also to identify other research results from our work that actually can be implemented in practice in the business, so that we in general raise the sustainability performance of the sector. Our project is not so big. It started in June this year, and we shall work until December next year. And the keywords for our work are innovation capacity, technologies uptake in tourism, blue growth, multidisciplinarity, and we are to work on the quintuple innovation helix, which is to bring together the perspectives of the academia, business, government, but also civic sector and the environment. Another important thing for our initiative is that we want to work also in the direction so that we mobilize civic knowledge and the community knowledge in this process as well. Our work, but also research methodology, goes through a few steps, which you can see here. We started first with a feasibility study, thanks to which we identified 4 challenge areas on which our work will focus, and these areas refer to the over pollution along the Black Sea coast, the overdevelopment and over construction, the seasonality, which also affects the carrying capacity of our destinations, and last but not least, the insufficient knowledge and innovation adoption at this stage by the majority of our tourist enterprises, even though we have and we know that there are quite a number of best practices which are existing in our area. The first step is to assess the needs of the economic agents, considering these 4 challenges and also the prospects for blue growth for tourism. And this is a process which we are actually implementing now with our research teams. We started with desk research. We shall perform in-depth interviews in 4 countries. These are the countries of the partners in this project, and they are Bulgaria, Moldova, Greece, and Turkey, but we shall also consider the other countries in the Black Sea Basin as well, focus groups again in these 4 countries, and a general survey in the Black Sea Basin, which we are going to launch online. The results of this process should be ready in February 2025, and we shall have the honor and privilege to present them again in Moldova and again with the Moldova State University. That will be the host of our next academic activity and conference within the project. In the meantime, we shall also explore the different solutions that already exist in our area, again from the perspective of the 4 main challenges that were identified in the project. We consider these challenges from the perspective also of the different sciences, of the different research interests of the partners in this project, because we have universities which are more on the technical part, which consider more the waste management perspective and the technologies for this. But we have also universities who are considering more the economic aspects, and the business aspects. Also, we are combining trying to combine, so not combining yet, the microeconomic and microeconomic perspective in this process. Comprehensive intervention. We shall also discuss how these blue growth elements are affecting again the individual agents, the companies who are actually in the tourism sector, but also how the policy making at the different levels, local, regional, or national, actually contributes to the blue growth. And in the end, we might come up with some policy recommendations if we find room for improvement of some concrete documents that could foster the blue growth perspective in our area. Cross-border applied research, of course, because we are institutions from bordering countries. And as I mentioned, we shall try to explore and actually attract community and civic knowledge as much as possible. What we shall deliver in the end. Firstly, and in order to perform what we promised, we created a transnational network for interdisciplinary solutions for smart, sustainable tourism and services. At this stage, it unites the 4 partners of the InterSmarts project. I shall present them to you shortly. But also this network is open for all interested entities who would like to work with us on this topic. On the second place, we shall elaborate the country region specific needs assessment about the sustainability and blue growth perspectives of tourism and related services in the Black Sea Basin, focusing on our 4 countries, but also suggesting and adding information for other countries in the area. In fact, this is quite a challenging task because, at least judging from the literature review and desk research which is in process, this is not for the time being, the topic is not that popular. So most probably with our initiative, we shall drive forward the interest towards this perspective as well. We shall compile an online database with applied research and innovations about smart sustainable tourism in the Black Sea. We are exploring research projects from the academia, but also some practices which are in process and which are already working in business. We shall elaborate an innovation management platform for sustainable tourism, which will allow for real-time discussion and decision making about real cases, about blue growth, and about the implementation of different innovative solutions in tourism and services in the Black Sea Basin. This is actually going to be quite a technological challenge because, for the time being, these innovation management platforms are working mainly for business purposes, and there are only a few examples of such platforms which are actually adapted for community-based projects. But there are such examples, and we shall try to use their approach to develop a local tool for us to use. The main added value will be that we shall also translate it into the languages of the partners, which will allow us to reach out more stakeholders and more interested professionals in this area. Based on this innovation management platform, we shall organize mentoring collaboratories in our 4 countries. And towards the end of the project, maybe this time next year, we shall have to present to you the results of our work. This is how we look on the map in terms of geography. I mentioned initially that the Black Sea Basin actually is much wider than the immediate coastline of the Black Sea. And we are happy to be all part of this area in which we can work and collaborate for our specific regional challenges in this regard. The Varna University of Management, which I have the honor to represent, is the lead partner in this consortium. We work together. I mean, these are our partners appearing in the way they are situated in our project documents. So we don't have any other logic besides this. The International Hellenic University from Thessaloniki is partnering in this initiative through the Department of Organization Management, Marketing and Tourism. Moldova State University is partnering through the Faculty of Economic Sciences, our friends who are hosting this wonderful event now. And the Istanbul Development Agency is the fourth partner in the InterSmarts network and consortium. The mission of the InterSmarts network, which is already created, as I mentioned earlier, is to incite cooperation and to increase the absorption of new knowledge and innovations in tourism and related services in order to improve the sustainability performance of the tourism sector and to activate its contribution to blue growth. In simple terms, this means that we shall also consider the different cross-sectoral collaborations of tourism businesses, also with agriculture, with food technologies, with transport, and so on, so that we in generally try to assist the enterprises in improving their resource efficiency and in decreasing their environmental footprints. In the long run, as I mentioned, our mission is to change the traditional perception of tourism as a not so knowledge intensive industry, because we believe that just on the contrary, technologies and new solutions can help us a lot in our sector, even though we highly depend on the human factor, of course, as a service industry. In one of the previous conferences, one of our lecturers mentioned here the connotation with the smart innovation and smart utilization of the new technologies in this sector is what is most important. In the InterSmarts network, we are considering 4 clusters of services which we are delivering together with our partners. The first cluster refers to the applied research and experimentation. The second cluster refers to mapping and the promotion of best practices. The third cluster refers to networking and co-creation, and the fourth cluster refers to training and mentoring. So in general, we are sticking to what we as research and education institutions are bound to deliver to the society in general. This structure, I just passed through the services which are for our clusters, because we shall present them more in detail also in our social media, and also when we already have some results to share with you. Otherwise, the list here is not something which is quite innovative by itself. It's just the topic and the way the topics and the way they are combined is the innovative element. And maybe the fact that we shall try to experiment with the crowd sourcing of ideas in this regard. The InterSmarts network is based on voluntary participation. We have a joint advisory board where each participating organization is represented by one expert. And we have a common memorandum of understanding, a portfolio of services, sustainability actions that pave the path along which we are going to work after the project ends, and also an application form also for the interested party, for all the organizations who would be interested to work with us on this initiative. At the stage of elaboration of the project and its concept, we identified, as I mentioned in the beginning, four most challenging areas for which we are designing task forces, and this will be our initial four themes on which we are going to work. But in the course of implementation of our activities, we hope that new other issues will be added, and we hope that other task force research teams will be created within the network. But for the start, based on the problem related to overbuilding and overdevelopment of the coastal and areas, we created a task force for sustainable infrastructure and resource management, and this task force is coordinated by the Moldova State University. The pollution problem, of course, but referring not only to the physical pollution, but also to noise pollution, overcrowding of areas, and overexploitation of destinations, and so on. This will be the theme of our task force for anti-pollution and waste management, which is coordinated by the International Hellenic University. Seasonality, of course, and seasonality solutions will be coordinated as a task force by us at the Varna University of Management, and technology transfer and innovation, which is to deal with the insufficient knowledge absorption in our sector, is going to be coordinated by the Istanbul Development Agency. So our main areas of work will refer to research, innovation, networking, and training. You are able to follow our results and our current developments on the social media, but also through the website of our project. This is on my behalf. Thank you for the attention and for this opportunity to be able to be part of this wonderful event. And I hope that we shall stay together on this topic. I don't hear you, and I don't know if you.
Thank you. We are hearing you.
Okay,
Thank you for
thanks.
the presentation. Aici? So if we have questions from the room. I saw a few students say hello to you from the audience at the beginning. Okay, now let's see if Mr. Porcelloni Leonardo is with us, as it's connected online.
Good afternoon. Yes, I'll pass with the connection with my laptop.
Okay, so you can
Just one moment.
share your screen.
Yes. Can you hear me fine?
Yes, yes, very good.
Yes. So I'm going to share my.
Okay, so Mr. Porcelloni will present us the cultural routes of the Council of Europe and tourist paradigms of modern pilgrimage. And the question for you would be, how do the cultural routes of the Council of Europe adapt to the evolving paradigms of modern pilgrimage tourism, particularly in balancing spiritual experiences with the growing demand for cultural and experiential tourism? The floor is yours.
Thank you very much. Can you just wanted to make sure, can you see the presentation fine? You see the screen, the
Yes,
PowerPoint?
yes,
Yes?
it's
Okay.
good.
Well, first of all, thank you very much for introducing me, inviting me for this interesting conference. I would have liked to be there with you and maybe explore a little bit of Moldova, but unfortunately I couldn't make it. Maybe another time. And so I'm Leonardo. I'm a human geographer, and I work at the University of Genova. And actually, I also work in the program of the cultural roots of the Council of Europe as an evaluator for the actual cultural roots. So it's a combination of my academic research and this more institutional role. And in this paper, I will focus on, as we said, on the theme of cultural roots, specifically examining the elements of slow tourism and modern pilgrimage that allow, in my opinion, for a reflection on current tourism paradigms. More precisely, I will refer to the Cultural Roots program promoted by the Council of Europe. Okay, let me see. Is it? Okay, can you see the second slide?
Yes, yes, we see it.
Good, thank you. So, basically, just very quickly, I'm going to start by contextualizing the program of the Cultural Roots that was launched by the Council of Europe in 1987 with the Santiago de Compostela Declaration. The cultural route can be understood as a new type of cultural asset, and in this respect, it must demonstrate an added value. Therefore, in their vision, they have contributed throughout history to the creation of contemporary Europe, or have created or are creating new European connections. Indeed, each route has to involve at least three countries related to the Council of Europe. Today, the program includes 48 routes, or we should say probably networks, and continues to grow with new candidacies being presented each year, although the growth is somewhat, as you can see from the graph, irregular so far. Before I mentioned that probably should be better to say networks, because the term route should not be understood only in the narrow sense of physical paths, but rather in a broader and more conceptual sense, referring to a network of sites or geographical areas that share a common topic. Now, since this is just to mention that obviously since the conference is organized in Moldova, the country, I wanted to mention that the country is involved in two cultural routes of the Council of Europe. One is the European route of Jewish heritage, and as I've seen from the program, it was already mentioned by the colleague Lazar, I think. Also, the Iter Vitis route related to the wine culture, making and distribution. Now, the Council of Europe's working group identified three key aims for cultural routes that could be summarized in this way: redeveloping and enhancing historical landscapes, recovering, let's say, dispersed cultural heritage, and restructuring a landscape system that restores to today's tourists the perceptual experiences of past travelers. I also would like to add that with 90% of their paths and places located in rural areas, cultural routes also have the potential to promote lesser known destinations, spreading tourism and economic benefits more, let's say, evenly across regions and throughout the year. So against the main seasonal period. The phenomenon I've been investigating to some specific cultural routes is that of modern pilgrimage and slow tourism, which, and I wanted to present them together because I believe that they share a common philosophy that values meaningful experiences over speed or quantity. And both practices encourage a meaningful, reflective journey, focusing on cultural appreciation and personal growth, for example, as we will see later, rather than the rapid consumptions of the destinations. The Via Francigena, which is a cultural route since 1994, that was the year when was certified by the Council of Europe, serves as my itinerant research field, focusing on the dimension of the slow travel and pilgrimage. This route nowadays stretches from Canterbury to Rome, and it covers 79 stages based on a 10th century travel diary. And now they also added another part extending the route from Rome to the Apulia region in southern Italy. Now, while I cannot delve into the historical geography work that I've conducted, for this presentation, I will focus on the key points from the qualitative investigation carried out on the modern itinerary that open up, in my opinion, a debate on the paradigm shift of this type of that this type of tourism brings to light. Okay. The main themes characterizing the journey experience, particularly in this form of, let's say, secular pilgrimage, include insights from both the perspective of travelers and local participants. So preliminary quantitative data reveal an average traveler of 43, with a predominantly, as you can see from the graphs, male demographic, which is slightly diverge from other studies, I have to say. And then since this survey was carried out just after the post-lockdown period from COVID-19, obviously in Italy the route could mainly attract Italian participants. Otherwise, it would be much more diverse in terms of international users. Walking is the preferred mode of travel, reflecting the slow and contemplative nature of the journey. With around 25 of participants breaking their trip into segments due to obviously time constraints. However, most travelers favor longer journeys of 11, let's say from 11 to 30 stages. That means almost a month journey. And despite the possibility of traveling traveling by groups or with friends, the majority prefer the solo travel, highlighting the personal and introspective focus of this experience. Now, this is quite interesting because we have to remember that the Via Francigena was born today as a pilgrimage route, therefore religious. By examining the motivations from my survey, they reflect that the user typology, obviously they reflect the interaction with the surrounding environment. It becomes interesting to notice that the religion motivation is the least important in the survey, while the actual the most important is the one related to the mental health, or rather the sharing experiences with other people, or the spiritual one. And these motivations indeed highlight the concept that I wanted to introduce in my papers, of therapeutic mobility, which is frequently identified again in my research. So while I'm presenting only obviously a subset of key concepts, the slides include significance, as you can see from here, selections from the interviews and the ethnographic survey. So the journey becomes for the pilgrims, for the travelers, an inner trial where personal goals are pursued within a shared context. We could say that the unhurried pace of walking extends time, creating continuity that harmonizes with the changing landscapes, and where transformation is seen as a path for self improvements. Now, regarding the therapeutic and transformative dimension of a journey, a crucial role is also played by the hospitality dimension. Contrary to the initial assumption about a distant emotional bond between the travelers and the insiders, which with insiders I mean the local people involved in this sort of tourism, and I'm saying about this initial assumption of distant bonds because these kind of travelers often arrive in the afternoon, late afternoon, on the evening, and they leave just the next day, sometimes at the town. My surveys confirm a strong connection, actually, highlighting the crucial role of local interaction in shaping the traveler's experience. So they become part of the journey as well. And in this case, in the fieldwork in Italy, as often revealed in the interviews, this puts the interrelational component on an equal level with the economic one, even in the context of the ongoing, at the time, of course, pandemic. Sharing applies to the overnight structures did not pose such a risk of contagion. They could be, for example, avoided. Now here from the graph, for example, we can see that immediately the demand for the shared accommodation, therefore those related to the pilgrimage experience, is much higher than the potential use, while the use of private facilities is significantly higher than the expressed demand. That means they, in some stretches of the journey, they need to improve the hospitality, the overnight hospitality related to the pilgrimage experience, because they don't want to use the traditional facilities. Concerning the locals, specifically, as in this case, the hosts, they are profoundly moved by the personal experiences of the travelers, finding harmony with their way of life, and therefore it constitutes a form of therapeutic mobility that involves the local residents as well. So here, as you can see, for example, for one of the sentences, for us to work with the Via Francigena, it is a well-being also for us. So that they recognize the therapeutic value on the travelers, and they feel this for themselves as well. So it exists a sort of genuine desire for welcoming of these particular users, albeit obviously they are less remunerative in comparison to the traditional tourist businesses. Key elements from the insiders' experiences highlight the importance of maintaining the vitality of local territories.
Professor Leonardo, sorry.
Yeah.
We are a little bit running out of time.
Yes, I'm
So,
concluding.
sorry, but
Yes, it's just 1 minute. I think this is the last one. Yeah. So just to say that the caution is to avoid reducing the historical and spiritual roots to a mere tourist attraction. This one poses a lot of challenges. So here it's interesting to see that, for example, they say at the same time you have to be careful to provide the same blood type of tourism. They mean do not make a Disneyland of the Via Francigena. So the local people are much more careful in providing an authentic experience of related to the pilgrimage. So to sum up, in this case, cultural roots related to slow tourism and pilgrimage promotes a range of beneficial values crossing boundaries, fostering cultural identity and revitalizing rural communities. These routes have the potential to develop remote or lesser known destinations, especially through walking or cycling. Both top-down and bottom-up processes play a role, with the local administrations and communities being crucial. So I focused on the socio-cultural impact of sustainable tourism, showing that it must be understood in its deeper essence to be consistent with its historical and geographical context as well. Then I thank you for the attention, and obviously, if, for example, there's no time for now for questions, you can email me as well. I'm available to reply to any questions. Thank you very much.
Thank you. We will continue to stay online, and I would like to invite Lee Joshua with the topic, the impact of international collaboration on ecotourism development, a case study of the Forest Services initiatives. So Joshua, you have the floor. I think you are connected with us.
Yes, hi, can you all hear me? Hello?
I think you have
Can you
also
hear me?
the possibility to share the screen.
Yes, can you just confirm that you can hear me?
Yes, yes, we are hearing you.
Great. And just not sure if you can see me. Okay.
We see you. Hello.
Great. Hi, everyone. Good afternoon. It is 6 a.m. here where I'm located in Los Angeles,
We appreciate the
California.
effort to be so early in the morning with us.
It's a pleasure. I'm used to this now. Well, yes, as I mentioned, it's a pleasure to be here, and I thank you, a big thank you to Moldova State University for inviting me. I'm not a scholar. I'm not sure who the other speakers are, but my name is Joshua Lee, and I'm the program manager. I am one of the many program managers at the U.S. Forest Service, Office of International Programs. And currently, I manage our international programs in Moldova, as well as Romania, and formerly in the Ukraine. And today, I'm just going to share a little bit about how we, as the U.S. Forest Service, as a government agency from the U.S., collaborates internationally. Just giving a few examples. But I wanted to start first with just a brief overview of the Forest Service. In the United States, we manage around 78 million hectares of forest and grasslands. And this is a challenge that land managers all over the world face. But when you are tasked with managing a large amount of land that you need to protect for its natural resources, but also want to give access to the public, this is a big challenge when you don't have the financial and the human resources that you need to be able to accomplish that. And this is a challenge that we face every year here, is with just the vast amount of land that we have. How do we protect its natural resources while still allowing the communities that are located near or adjacent to that land to prosper and benefit? And then how can the U.S. Forest Service also take that revenue from ecotourism and reinvest it to continue to protect that land so that it can be enjoyed? And so this is one of the challenges that in which we try to work with partners all over the world to address and to solve. Obviously, when we talk about ecotourism and nature-based tourism, it's a system, and there are many components to that system, right? You have the natural resources that are important to protect. You have communities that rely on those resources, and then you have people who also need to have livelihoods. And so I'm going to quickly share my screen. I just have a few pictures. Sorry, bear with me.
You are sharing the screen with us because we cannot see it.
Okay. All right. Can you all see my screen now?
Yes, now it's in process. It's good.
Okay, great. Great. So I wanted to just share really quick that in the States, at least on national forest land, ecotourism is a very critical component of what we do, because there is a large amount of revenue that is generated from that tourism, which helps us in terms of land. But it also creates a lot of jobs. From 2022 to 23, we had 161,000 jobs that were supported from ecotourism on our land, and also 160 million visitors. So we try to share the lessons that we've learned from these challenges, trying to protect the resources, but allow the public to access them. And one of the primary ways we do that is through seminars. And I'm going to give the example of the ISPAM seminar. Now, this stands for the International Seminar on Protected Area Management. And so we hold this seminar in the United States every year in the state of Montana, and where we invite land managers and professionals from all over the world to come to the United States and see some of the approaches that we use when we manage tourism and visitors in nature. And we also partner with universities. And so in this case, for the ISPAM seminar, we specifically with the University of Montana. And this is, we've seen this to be very successful, because we as an agency already work with the university so much in order to make sure that the students that are being educated are ready to join the workforce and are ready to tackle the problems that we face in tourism. And so the university has a unique perspective and the ability to really supplement what we share as professionals And then the other important aspect of this seminar is we actually switched from calling it a seminar to calling it a community of learning. And what we wanted from that was that we wanted people who participated in the seminar every year, so we have a different cohort professionals every year, and each year the cohort creates a WhatsApp group and an email chain, and once they leave the seminar, they continue to contact each other, and we've seen a huge impact of this, and it's been very organic because we don't manage the chat or the email after the seminar. We just allow the participants to naturally ask each other questions. You're from Chad, Africa. How did you address this issue that you had in your protected area? And so we've seen a lot of knowledge exchange, just informal knowledge exchange happen between countries. And it all stemmed from just inviting people to one table. And so another example that is similar to that seminar and is specific for Moldova is last year we hosted a similar type of event, a seminar / workshop on environmental education. And this is where for 1 week, we invited participants, mostly educators, representatives of NGOs and public land managers from Ukraine, Georgia, and Moldova. We hosted them in the Kodri in Moldova for a week, and we shared. It was an opportunity for each country to share the challenges that they were going through and sharing how they were solving those, whether it be lack of resources, lack of finances, lack of human resources. And once again, our focus here was not just to end it with a workshop and then have everyone go home and that be the end of the story. We wanted to create a community that continued to engage with each other over the internet. And from that, we've seen schools, primary schools from, for example, Ukraine and Georgia, create relationships between students, online relationships between students, where the schools would hold virtual sessions, and the primary students from Georgia and Ukraine would talk to each other about the different types of nature and ecotourism projects that they were doing in their schools or in their communities. And so something that is really essential in our eyes when we engage with partners and collaborate with partners. And there are so many examples, so I'll just mention one more in the interest of time, is when we implement our projects, we realize that in order for ecotourism to be successful, which in my eyes, it's to improve the ecological value of a place while also improving the economic opportunities of that place. In order for that to be successful, you need to find what people value about that land and find a common value that brings all the different players to the same table. And for us, what we've seen hugely successful in Americas through youth programs, and these can be seen as, for example, in junior ranger programs where we host students over the year to a specific location, whether it be a national park or a national forest, to teach them about the environment, the flora and the fauna, the animals of that specific area. And and also we want it to be fun and engaging for them, because at the end of the day, if you can help youth to make a real connection to land or to the environment or to a specific place, then the likelihood of them wanting to protect that land and advocate for that land or natural resource is going to be higher when they're adults. So this is something that's hard to measure when it comes to indicators, but we know that it's critical in order to create a generation or a population of people who are going to continue to want to protect that land, and use it well. And so this is just an example of a high school that we worked with in an area called Orhei in Moldova, where we involved them in planting trees, and protecting the Rat River, but also teaching the students about how to engage with the public, with how to involve the community, and how to create the Rat River and the area around it into a place that is more attractive to people to visit. And so we have also a few other projects in Moldova and also in Eastern Europe, that do similar things. But really, I think the greatest value is to bring, in terms of collaboration, is to bring all the different stakeholders who may want different things, or who may have opposite opinions about certain things, to the same table and find the common ground, and then to work up from there. So I'll pause there, and I appreciate your time.
Thank you very much for your time also. And hope you will have to all continue the activities in Moldova. This is very important for the ecotourism and the tourism industry in Moldova in general. Now I would like to invite Elena Stepanov with the topic Sustainability Practices within the Gastronomy Tourism Sector in Moldova.
promit să fie rapid această prezentare. Dear guests, dear colleagues, I'm honored to be today here and to share from our experience, from the experience of our association, the insights about Moldovan tourism offerings and about the gastronomy offer of Moldova. So as you saw and you experienced already, Moldova is unexpectedly great. Just a second. Great. Yes, thank you. What makes Moldova a unique destination? It's not only about the placement, the geographic placement and the history, it's also about the quality of wines and our cuisine. It's about the humans that makes this offer real, interesting for tourists. And also Moldova is undiscovered for now. So this is one of our slogan. 2 weeks ago, we hosted two bloggers from abroad to Moldova, and they told us that this is what attracted them to come to Moldova, to visit Moldova, that this is undiscovered country. So this is a slogan that attracts not only local tourists to discover their country, but also tourists from abroad. What includes and from what consists the tourism offer of Moldova? So rural tourism that includes the experience of our guest houses. We have a network of more than 40 guest houses that provide you experience, culinary experience, cultural experience, accommodation, and why not adventure travel. We have wine tourism that provide accommodation, wine tasting tours, and also some adventure travel experiences as cycling and hiking through the vineyards. Adventure travel offer Tree of Life festivals. Each year we host more than 60 festivals that attract tourists from abroad and local that want to discover our culinary, our culture, and want to see what are the top experiences in Moldova related to the rural tourism. Chisinau is a great place for the city break and for the MICE tourism, as Chisinau has a lot of locations that can host international events. We already proved that we are the best location for hosting such a type of events. I will speak later about one event that we hosted last week and is related to the wine route of Moldova. The medical tourism, I want to say that more than 30% of the tourists that are coming to Moldova are medical tourists. So the medical offer is cheaper than in other country and the service are high quality. And offer for the business travelers, such as hotels, luxury accommodation, restaurants, and of course, internet infrastructure that offers you the possibility to work from abroad. What about wine and gastronomy of Moldova? This is the main topic of today. So Moldova is number one in the world country with the highest density of the vineyards. Is number 6 in the Europe by the surface of the vineyards. And Moldova has at this moment more than 200 wineries, big wineries and small wine producers. Wine routes of Moldova. As the colleague spoke before about the Intervitis cultural route, and Moldova is included with a wine route in the Intervitis Federation of Cultural Route. So we have now more than 48 wineries included in this route, wineries that offer not only wine tasting and wine producing, but also they offer different type of tourist experiences, start from accommodation, wine tasting rooms, wine tasting with different type of master classes and experience like hiking, cycling, doing your own label, or maybe name the wine with your own ideas. So more than 40 wineries offer tours and wine tasting. 6 wineries offer accommodation, but at this moment I'm sure that we have more wineries that offer accommodation from this route. We have wineries with restaurants and food experiences, and also cultural attractions. Moldova's slow food destination. If you see, everything here looks very good, and everything here is made by the hosts or the guest houses that provide your rural experience. Unbelievable, but this is true. And what makes our culinary tourist offer attractive is that visitors can enjoy farm-to-table meals, cooking workshops, and interactive culinary tours provided by the hosts of the guest houses, and not only. Moldova is renowned for its traditional cooking techniques and sustainable culinary experiences. Our cuisine includes slow food principles and diverse of local ingredients and traditional recipes taken from our grandmothers. Rural tourism. The Moldova countryside offers a rich experience of Moldovan cuisine in the guest houses and rural location of the Republic of Moldova. So we have the network of more than 60 guest houses across the country that provide not only accommodation but also culinary experiences. These guest houses provide authentic accommodations, folk music, and various activities, including cooking workshops that I mentioned before, and more. This experience allows visitors to connect directly with the local culture and tradition and explore Moldova's diverse natural beauty. These 60 guest houses, you can see what are their main offer: authentic accommodation, traditional food in their restaurant, soft adventure travel like hiking, cycling, folk music and dance, bird watching, arts and craft workshops, cooking workshops, and fishing. Mostly all the guest houses has their own restaurants, and they cook and provide meals in their houses. But also each guest house try to have a different offer and to provide something different for the tourists that are coming in the region. So as I spoke before, we hosted last week International Wine Tourism Conference, ITERVITIS. We hosted the first International Wine Tourism Conference in Moldova. 23 representatives from 23 countries were in Moldova and discovered the culinary experience of Moldova, culinary offer, wine offer, and what Moldova can do and how Moldova can host this type of events. So I want to mention that this event was hosted by one of the new locations in Chisinau related to the MICE tourism. During 3 days, these guests visited more than 3 wineries, had traditional culinary experience in different places, and also had a chance to visit a guest house in the southeast region of Moldova. Who we are, if we speak about the associations that I represent. ANTRIM is National Inbound and Domestic Tourism Association of Moldova with more than 120 members, businesses from the tourism sector. So during almost 11 years of activity, we hosted more than 70 press trips and organized them. Also B2B and B2C events. Each year we, together with our members, participate in different international exhibitions related to different type of tourism offerings. So soon we also will attend exhibition in Greece and in Poland, where we will be glad to share our offers and our experiences that each tourist can have in Moldova. Also, we are hosting and we are organizing online and offline PR campaigns during the activity, and we are managing the chain of the 10 tourist information centers in all the regions of Moldova. You can see who are our members, starting from tour operator and travel agencies, wineries, guest houses, hotels, event organizer, soft adventure providers, and artisans. The objectives of our association is mainly to promote Moldova as a travel destination through different marketing and PR activities, to create new opportunities from the businesses, from the tourism sector, creating partnership between the businesses in the tourism sector, and not only businesses but also academia. We had a good example of the partnership with the State University of Moldova, as we are providing some courses as representative of the business sector of Moldova from the practical part. And also students are involved in our activities, starting with the volunteering and also logistics for different type of national events that attract tourists from abroad. So lobby on advocacy for entry members is also the service that we provide, and workforce development, trying to create some new opportunities for our members and not only. You can see what additional support can offer Antrim, assistance with social programs and activities, applying to different projects that will help businesses to improve and to extend their offerings, and also creating of promotional materials. During our activity, the main partnership is USAID that helping us and support us in the activity that are related to the tourism development and the development of the sector or the businesses from the tourism sector. And also you can see, and I would like to mention that Antrim is affiliate member of UN Tourism Organization. And new, we are member also of GSTC, and last year we had a chance to pass the course provided by Global Sustainable Tourism Council, and also Ms. Veronica Bulat attended this course. So this is very important to develop and to help to develop businesses in the sustainable direction that is one of the priority worldwide, global priority. And also now I will invite you to discover Moldova. Please scan the QR code and you'll have the opportunity to discover locations that provide different experience, also culinary experience in Moldova, starting with wineries and guest houses. This is a good opportunity to see what are the main offering of Moldova. Thank you very much. If you have any question. No, but mainly our cuisine is different from the Italian cuisine, and especially we start our meal, each host starts the meal with a traditional pastry placinta. Mostly this is the opening of the traditional meal. We start with carbohydrates, with carbs. Yes, but this is traditional, so it's tasty traditional food. Pickled tomatoes.